What is a victim and what do they get?
There isn't a fixed way that a victim is, and what I'm going to say is something that people can choose to accept or not. And for some cases of victimhood, fresh ones, for example, what I'm going to say may not be relatable. But a victim, I'm saying, and you can say as a declaration, a victim, there's a payoff to when you choose victimhood, when you choose to interpret things that have happened as you being a victim. If we look closely, in many cases, a victim gets to do what he wanted to do anyway, but couldn't fess up to. A victim gets to do what he wanted to do anyway, but couldn't fess up to. So, you did this to me, so I'm a victim. But actually the outcome got me to be where I wanted to be anyway. Quite often people will call me up and they'll say, oh, my partner betrayed me. I'm a victim to my partner's betrayal. The outcome was that we split up and it's his fault. But in actual fact, if we look closer, that person had already kind of chosen it anyway, and that the victim, they couldn't really fess up to the choice they'd made, so they created it such that they appeared as a victim. So a victim gets a certain need met. Also, a victim holding the victim position can be a call for attention, can be a call for help. So we take a victim position and this brings to us attention. By assuming a victim's position over any situation, one also can pay off guilt. So we feel guilty about something and we attract to us out of that guilt something that creates us as a victim. So by being a victim to circumstance, we get, by appearing as being a victim to circumstance, we pay off a guilt. But in fact, we created that victimhood to pay off the guilt. A victim can also get revenge, using victimhood as revenge. So, for example, say one's parents, say one's father didn't give one enough love, and one feels angry and resentful for that, one will create a drama in which one appears as a victim to get revenge on the father or punish the father. You see, you didn't do this the way you should have done in my view, so now I'm getting revenge on you by being a victim, and that'll teach you. Also, obviously, a victim gets to teach. See, if you treat children this way, this is what happens. They become a victim to when they're a victim to your behaviour, this is what happens. And by assuming that role, you then teach your parents something. You also get to attack. Victimhood is a kind of an attacking position. For example, like with my own personal situation, I was sent to boarding school at 6 by my mum and my dad, but I really always thought it was my mum. And so I felt a victim of that. And I had it that I was a victim to her lack of love, I was a victim to her lack of care, and the consequence was that I had a really bad time. And then, through my life, I made it her fault that I didn't do what I wanted to do, that I didn't fulfill her dreams for me, and it was her fault. But in actual fact, I was attacking her. And in actual fact, I was teaching her. And in actual fact, I got to do what I wanted to do anyway, which was not very much, and make it her fault. In actual fact, she wasn't guilty at all. and I wasn't a victim at all. That was just the way things went. And me choosing to see it as being a victim or to play it as being a victim had hidden payoffs in it. And it's that I'm trying to focus on. Why would you choose to play the victim? And is that a path to empowerment? No. There are some situations that clearly you are a victim. Something comes out of the blue and you're a victim. But as soon as possible, you need to create a view of causality that takes you out of the complete disempowerment of victimhood and move into a different kind of causality, a different kind of interpretation of causality that brings understanding and freedom. Often we have it that, by being a victim, we get to control so as not to have to face the fear of the next step. Because I'm a victim, this happened to me and I'm wounded, and because I'm wounded I'm not as good as I could be or should be, and so I would do what I know I've got to do, but I can't because I was victimised and I can't. And everybody goes, oh yeah, poor you, you can't, so we don't really expect you to. But really, that is an invention. There isn't a wound. In what context is that true? Yes, that happened to you. Yes, you were victimised. That perspective, yeah, you could interpret it that way. But can you see the context in which you were not wounded? Is there any part in you that was not touched by that tragedy? By that abuse? By that experience? By that way of being from somebody? Is there a part of you that's not wounded? Is there a part of you that never gets touched? Yes, there is. Also, you can, when you're playing the victim, you get to prove your worthiness by sacrificing yourself. You get to prove your worthiness by sacrificing yourself. Oh, I'm a victim to circumstance. This has happened. So I'll prove my worthiness by sacrificing myself. Victim to circumstance. So you get a certain need met, you call for someone's help or attention, you pay off guilt, you get revenge, you get to teach, you excuse yourself from doing something, you justify doing what they wanted to do anyhow, what you wanted to do anyhow. Also, it creates independence. A victim is a very kind of independent place. It's a stance where you can't really be reached. There's nothing that can really be done because what happened happened and you are where you are because of it. So it's a kind of place of independence. It's a bit like defining yourself with misery. It can also, you get others to attack, you get to attack another, you get others to sacrifice. Oh look, because I'm such a victim and I'm so wounded, I need you to do this for me because I'm incapable, and I need you to give me this. And then you get others to sacrifice by playing the victim. And also, by being a victim, it gives you a way out of not having to accept the responsibility of creating a new future, or accepting a gift, a talent or opportunity. So, when you're a fresh victim, you don't really want to see all what I've just said. And fair enough. But when you've been a victim a long time in your life, or you have it, that you're not getting your fair deal out of life because of your mum, or you're not getting a fair deal out of your life because of what happened there and then, back in the past, and that's who you are. And if you've been sitting in victimhood about anything for too long, then you need to start applying these understandings to see if they fit and see if they can extricate you from this disempowered position so that you can be re-empowered and come into the knowledge of the self that you truly are, that wasn't touched by what happened. And to realize that the myth of the wound, you can turn that wound into a myth. And then the one who turned it into a myth, who is that one? That one's free and whole and ready to go.